Turning a work as awe-inspiring and complex as Frank Herbert's Dune into a playable game could not have been an easy task. Herbert's novel maintained a consistent reality, which was as detailed as it was imaginative. Even the multi-million-dollar films couldn't do the book justice, in my opinion. So what chance did this game have? This is the prophecy that tells the coming of the universe's super being, the son of Bene Gesserit, a religious group of women who will have incredible powers and rule the universe. And this is the character you play in this conversion of the sci-fi novel, Dune. Thankfully, the French development team behind the game, Cryo, have obviously put a great deal of time and effort into distilling the essential elements and mystique of the original novel and reworking them for the computer game. Liberties have been taken, of course, but only to dispense with some unnecessary detail and to accentuate the action and adventure elements. In the game, you assume the role of Paul Atreides, the young son of Duke Leto. Your family have just arrived on the planet Dune and have been granted the right to mine spice, the galaxy's most valuable commodity. Spice is a drug found only on Dune, and is the key to deep space navigation as well as prolonged life. Consequently, the drug is incredibly expensive, and whoever controls its production holds the key to untold wealth and power. Unfortunately, much of the planet is controlled by the Harkonnen, sworn enemies of the House of Atreides, and a confrontation is inevitable. Before coming to blows, Atreides must befriend the local tribesmen, the Fremen, and enlist their help in building up sufficient stores of spice to keep the Emperor off your back. This is effected by visiting the numerous Fremen settlements and convincing their leaders to work for you. Only 3 such sites are visible at the start, but more are discovered as the game progresses. Mining spice is a tricky business, and you'll soon find a prospector is needed to search for the stuff, as well as harvesters to collect the drug. Most Fremen are only too glad to help you after their mistreatment at the hands of the Harkonnen, but some resist, and you'll need to cajole them into helping your efforts. Production will also drop if you fail to make frequent visits to each mine. Motivation takes a nosedive, machinery begins to pack up, and sabotage occurs. Spice production is an essential element of the game, as the Emperor has to receive regular supplies, or he'll revoke your license to mine the resource in an extremely brutal fashion. Unfortunately, the need to constantly visit individual mines to G up the workforce is frustrating, and appears to have been added to pad out the game. Another obstacle to production are the giant sandworms who roam the planet's surface. These huge beasts are attracted to the rhythmic vibrations of your mining equipment and will often attack spice harvesters, putting mines out of operation. Later in the game, the worms can be tamed and used as an alternative form of transport. Until then though, transportation is by ornithopters, flimsy lightweight planes, or by foot. The latter method is not recommended until you've acquired a still suit, and even then, prolonged exposure to Dune's inhospitable climate will result in severe dehydration or death. There's an excellent animation sequence which kicks in if you've been playing in the sand for too long, and shows your skin slowly receding from your skull. Once production of spice is underway, and you've made contact with Stilgar, the Fremen leader, you begin to train an army. From here, the game starts to assume a tactical bent, as troops can be sent on spying or espionage missions against the Harkonnen fortresses. Troops need to be trained and equipped with the best weapons in order to become an effective force, and again, this takes time and can be a frustrating part of the game. While military engagements are essential to victory, so is taking care of the planet's ecosystem. By helping the Fremen to reclaim the desert, the tribesmen become more motivated to your cause, and the vegetation starts to overgrow Harkonnen settlements. Dune can be played entirely with the mouse, but there's also a joystick and keyboard option. The main area of the screen is viewed through Paul's eyes, although there's also a control panel located in the bottom third of the screen. From here, All essential commands and instructions can be given at the click of a mouse button. It's a very simple system to pick up and means even the novice player can jump straight into the game without any need to consult the manual. Several maps are also at your disposal, and these detail the various Fremen activities, spice density and stock levels, the number of men under your control, your charisma level, used to get what you want from the various people you meet, and the area of land under your control. There's also a travel map which comes into play every time you take a trip in an ornithopter, which lets you choose your destination. Graphically, Dune looks superb. The palace, mining installations and Harkonnen fortresses are all extremely detailed, and the game's main characters are finely rendered. The animated sequences are also highly polished. Skimming across the desert in an ornithopter is very satisfying, as the dunes flash by and the sun sets in the distance. Day and night cycles help create the passing of time and light up the sky with pale blues, crimson and dark purples, further reinforcing the alien feel of the landscape. When talking, each character's lips assume a life of their own, and although there's no digitised speech on offer, the effect is a pleasing one. Gurney Halleck, who acts as a guide for much of the game, is especially well endowed in the lips department, and his name takes on an altogether new meaning as he seemingly competes for the world's gurning championship. Such are the contortions of his rubberized lips. Sound-wise, the in-game tunes are suitably otherworldly, throwing up swirling scores with all manner of electronic tomfoolery thrown in for good measure. Adventure games are too often a matter of doing A and B to reach C. Such a linear approach becomes boring after a while. Dune succeeds because it involves a degree of strategic thinking in overcoming the Harkonnens, and there's also a number of mysteries to clear up along the way. Admittedly, parts of the game are still too linear, especially at the start, but things perk up after the first couple of hours and become much more involved. It was never going to be easy adapting a novel of Dune's intensity and depth, but Virgin have come satisfyingly close to pulling it off. All the essential information and necessary background material is presented in an almost subliminal way, allowing the game's adventure elements to come to the fore. This one should appeal to both Dune aficionados and novices alike. I enjoyed Dune a lot. The graphics are superb, with excellently drawn characters, detailed backgrounds, and clearly laid out control bars. The animation sequences are also top-notch. Some of the ornithopter flying sequences could almost be described as beautiful, and the plot is fascinating. A very polished game then, and one which should appeal to fans of the book, graphic adventure lovers, and gamers alike. I'd play the game simply to visit all the timeless looking locations, but adventurers will be pleased that there's a lot to do gameplay wise. Something that's helped by the simplicity of the point and click interface. A damn good game when all's said. Thanks for watching guys. Please don't forget to hit the like button. If you was a fan of Dune, then let me know in the comment section. I have to say, this is one of my guilty pleasures in sci-fi, as I loved the original film and was strangely fascinated with the whole storyline. How about you? If you're enjoying the nostalgia, then please consider subscribing to the channel, where I'll be revisiting more classics just like this. Hopefully, you'll join me. There's more videos coming up next, and plenty more on the channel playlist. Hopefully, I'll see you there. Until then, thanks again for watching. Bye for now.